Hi, this is Dan Kennedy, and I'm here to talk with you about lead flow. In some businesses, it's called deal flow. Different people refer to leads as prospects or as candidates. That doesn't matter. The thing to get is that leads are the lifeblood of any and every business and the essential fuel of any and every fortune. If you can't create a system, process, or means that brings you a sufficient quantity and quality of leads on a steady and dependable basis, you can't control your own destiny. You will suffer roller coaster income and slumps and droughts and live with bouts of anxiety and stress for as long as you are in business. This is, in truth, how most business owners live, how most so-called internet marketers live, and why most people fail. Businesses fail to launch because of poor lead generation. Businesses fail to make money because of poor lead flow. Businesses spike up, then fall down and die because of unsteady lead flow. People tire and wear out and quit because of poor lead flow. Many people have good products and services and good sales skills or processes, but can't give themselves enough sales opportunities. To paraphrase Thoreau, most business owners and marketers lead lives of desperation because they do not know how to create a steady and sufficient supply of good leads. In this session, I'd like to give you a different vision, also an architecture for making that different vision a reality. The vision is that of the prosperous owner of a real business, not of random or episodic income events, not of endless need for the next new promotion, not of frequent worry over where the next sale might come from. A vision of certainty and security and stability, of a continuous and steady inflow of desired customers or clients or patients or subscribers or members, even of creating equity, not just day-to-day income. This video is long by today's online video norms, about 25 minutes. Be forewarned. I made it long enough to achieve my purpose, certain truth-telling about the practical application of the principle of attraction, and more narrowly, the science of lead generation. I did not force-fit it to a time suited for the shortest attention spans, the least serious, most impatient folks. If you insist on short, there's no point going part way across a bridge and stopping. Quit here, now. I've made myself worth tens of millions of dollars with only a high school education, with no startup advantages, with what many judge a difficult personality, and almost entirely through earned income, not gains from buying low and selling high or flipping companies. There are many factors in this formula: highly developed marketable core competencies, ability to communicate, persuade, and influence, ability to develop saleable products. But of all the factors, the ability to harness the principles of attraction in very pragmatic and practical ways has been most important. For without sufficient and steady stream of people I can exchange my value with for their money, none of the rest of it matters. Being more talented or skilled than others in your area of expertise has zero value if you cannot harness the principles and power of attraction in a practical way. Having the very best, most innovative, most beneficial products or services has zero value if you cannot harness the principles and power of attraction in a practical way. Many people harm themselves by denying or decrying this reality. They desperately want to believe that being better, having better credentials, having gone to a better school, having more experience, having more integrity, etc., should be enough. Maybe in an idyllic and just world that would be so, but not in this world. In this world, you are not automatically awarded what you deserve or think you deserve. It's not a pure meritocracy. If that were the case, there'd probably be no rich porn stars or merchants and no poor pastors and preachers. I've learned and teach that money moves about for its own reasons, and neither need nor simple deservingness are magnetic to it. This time, in this video, incidentally, is devoted entirely to the crass subject of attracting money and wealth. As Joan Rivers says, even happiness can't buy money. I'm here to talk business. If you came to hear about getting rich or richer and sustaining top income, wealth, and lifestyle through marketing from somebody who has actually done that personally, helped numerous clients do it, coached tens of thousands to it, and who does it daily, then you are in the right place. If you need it wrapped in pleasantly scented silks and delivered with gentle touch, you'll soon depart. Recently, I've been providing some analysis of Amazon.com to my clients. Amazon is aggregating the marketplace and destroying entire categories of merchants. Most people think this is because they are usually selling at cheaper prices, but that is not the most important and instructive reason. Amazon has made itself into the #1 online search engine for buyers. Thus, it has massive lead flow. It is the best lead generation company of all time. About the time I figured out that they were not in the book business and not really in the retail business, but were becoming the lead generation giant, I bought a little pot full of Amazon stock, and it is now worth a tick more than 10 times what I paid for it. I only wish I'd been bolder and bought more. You never bet enough on a winning horse, he said ruefully. Similarly, I want you to understand that whatever your deliverables are, they are not your business. Presuming you want to be rich and secure and sustainable and powerful. Amazon's deliverables are books and shoes. They own Zappos and power tools and food and, well, you name it. But that is not their business. Their business is lead generation, the magnetic attraction of people. It is almost certain that Amazon should not be your business model. Very few watching could ever use their model. But their premise, that should be yours. So I'm going to lay out a better, more doable, more reliable, and more universally applicable business model or architecture for you in a few minutes. But don't fail to give the premise enough importance. Stated simply, the premise has 3 essential parts. 1, you must make yourself the go-to person, place, or entity for some audience searching for or that can be interested in you and your deliverables. 2, you must understand that lead flow is lifeblood. Not talent or skill, not expertise or credentials, not superior or even unique product, exceptional service, or cure for what ails. Lead flow is lifeblood. Lead flow is lifeblood. If you do not make yourself a master of lead generation, whatever other mastery you may possess is devalued and feckless. If you get nothing else from this entire video, get that. Assess how strong and smart and capable and sophisticated you are at lead generation. Make mastery of lead generation your mission. Finally, 3, you generate lead flow to monetize lead flow, not for any other reason, not to inform or entertain or pile up impressive statistics or get attaboys from anybody. You generate lead flow to monetize lead flow. If you're taking notes, write that one down. Amazon is often criticized within the internet culture and by the internet trade journals and elite for providing comparatively poor content, not enough entertainment, not properly using social media. But they are all about monetizing lead flow. There are a lot of numbers bandied about in marketing: response percentages, circulation, pass-along effect, visitors, dedicated visitors, likes, friends, fans, and on and on. And I'm here to tell you it's all bullshit. I'm here to tell you about leads that convert to income, not leads for the sake of having leads. If you want bragging rights from meaningless numbers, be my guest. I want money. And if you are ready to stop chasing unicorns and to get money, then I'm the guy for you. So let's get into the most powerful model for making money with marketing. It centers around lead generation. Here are its 5 basic tenets. Number 1, focus and specificity. Number 2, diversity equals speed and stability. Number 3, governed by facts, not fads. Number 4, evergreen is a worthy goal. And number 5, price, profit, and process equal power. Let's take them one by one. Number 1 is focus and specificity. It is no random accident that Amazon.com began as a bookseller, focused on being magnetically attractive to people who buy and read books, then evolved and morphed into a search engine for buyers of everything and a lead generation machine for sellers of everything. It rose to power with focus and specificity. Now, this is even more vital if you do not have access to unlimited amounts of venture capital to subsidize financial losses for years before creating profit. If you need to make money while you create wealth, then focus and specificity are critical. Magnetic attraction is greatly strengthened by being for somebody in particular with very specific needs, desires, and interests. That's worth writing down too. Magnetic attraction is greatly strengthened by being for somebody in particular with very specific needs, desires, or interests. Each individual person carries only a handful of top-of-mind interests around with him at any one time. Think of it as a person's top 10 list. Mine currently includes managing my diabetes without prescription drugs, harness horse racing, mentalism, investment strategy, politics, direct marketing, copywriting, and Disney. The fellow living right next door to me in a house that looks just like mine, who is my age and race, probably has an entirely different list. You probably do too. Now, people with shared top 10 list items often gravitate into groups and communities and subscription bases and mailing lists, and that fact contains opportunity for smart marketers. But the most important thing to know at this early stage of thoroughly understanding lead generation is that people's top 10 lists are what you tap into to attract them to you. And the more focused and specific you are about the person you want to attract and the distinct connection you build to his top 10 list, the stronger and more powerful your magnetism. Number 2, diversity equals speed and stability. I often teach that the worst number in business is 1. If you are over-dependent on any one thing in your business life, you will, at some point, be punished for this vulnerability. You can count on that. One key person, one key account or client, one product, one service, one skill, one technology, all woefully insecure and unstable. This is particularly true of media. If you are a, quote, internet marketer who refuses to use print, direct mail, possibly broadcast, well, you're a fool cruising for a bruising. If you are committed only to print or only to direct mail, you are just as big a fool. Then there is the matter of speed. There's no virtue in getting rich slow. Now, speed is a product of diversified, multimedia approaches. Simply, the more doors you open for leads to come in through, the faster you can achieve your income goals. 2 doors are good, 6 doors are better. And you can't require them to all be equal in performance or cost or front-end profitability. Any that can be afforded should be set up and opened. If you will sign on and let me show you how to erect and open more doors for leads to come through, we will increase your income and the stability of that income and the speed with which it grows. You will, of course, later have that opportunity. So be thinking about whether or not it seems valuable, maybe imperative, for you to have this assistance from me. I will guarantee that if you sign on and let me show you how to erect and open more doors for leads to come through, we will increase your income and the stability of that income and the speed with which it grows. In a few minutes, I'm going to digress from the list and talk about different media. But I have to emphasize this foundational principle of diversity. Any and every way you can get leads should be your way of getting leads. I have made my fortune and fortunes for clients by constantly broadening, expanding, and diversifying the ways I and they get leads. I'm going to take some time to drive this point home with 3 quick examples. Years ago, I got to know Bob Stupak in Las Vegas. Bob turned a 1-floor slot machines only dump at the furthest end of the Strip into the giant Las Vegas World Hotel, now even bigger and named the Stratosphere. He did it with virtually no capital or financing, all bootstrap funded by selling prepaid vacation packages. I talked with him once about how many ways he had of generating leads to sell these packages. He said, so many now I can't count or name them from memory. I'd need the list. Well, everybody saw his big magazine and newspaper ads, but only truckers saw the mini magazines he had route drivers dropping off at every truck stop and diner on every road leading into Vegas from anywhere. His most ingenious list-building strategy was giving each guest color postcards to send home to friends, with Bob buying the stamps and mailing them if you dropped them into the special VIP mailbox in the lobby. The names and addresses were copied off, and sales letters for the vacation packages trailed the postcards. Here's some quick math. 100 rooms times an average of 3 postcards equals 300 free leads. The average stay of 2 days, less 365 days divided by 2, equals 182 stays times 300 free leads equals 54,600 free leads, and hot leads at that, per year. If each averaged worth just $10, that'd be $546,000. Is more like $100, $5.4 million. Another example, my longtime client, Guthrie Renker, owns the #1 acne treatment brand, Proactive, roughly an $800 million business built from scratch. I was there at its inception. I'm still consulting now. Most people are aware of the TV infomercials for Proactive, but a lot of Proactive customers are acquired by running good, old-fashioned, full-page Sunday newspaper inserts. others from little flyers stuffed into credit card statements and other mail order companies' boxes, and radio commercials, and robust social media, and YouTube videos. Another example, I worked with a chiropractor who consistently generated 200 new patient leads and 50 new patients every single month with the certainty of the sunrise. He was often asked, how do you get 50 new patients a month? The doctors asking lusted for a simple answer, a secret source he'd found for 600 patients a year. He answered, I generate 200 leads every month. Okay, they'd ask, how do you generate 200 leads? Again, what they meant was, tell us the one way you generate 200 leads. He said, I don't know a way to generate 200 leads. I know 200 ways to generate a lead, and I use every one of them. So number 2 is diversity. Number 3 is governed by facts, not fads. So I'm about to digress and delve into specific media used for lead generation, and I'm going to talk for almost 5 minutes about direct mail. And many of you are going to groan, and some will foolishly bail out. But if you will wait and hear the facts about how money is really being made in direct marketing, you may be shocked, amazed, and enlightened, and helped enormously by being liberated from endless futile goose chases after the bright, shiny objects of online media. Now, I'm not opposed to online or any media. I practice multimedia integration, but I am very big on facts, not fads. Facts. And I'm about to tell you the no BS truth about media and money making, whether you like it or not. Now the digression. We'll return to the list and pick up at number 4 in about 8 or 9 minutes. You need the entire architecture. But now let's talk media. And I'm going to start with some facts about direct mail. Fact, 50% of consumers say they pay more attention to postal mail than email. That's from the Epsilon Channel Preference Study of 2011, an entirely independent study. That means if you insist on communicating entirely or mostly with email and neglect use of direct mail, you may very well miss half the sales opportunities of any given campaign or even within your own list. Fact, 26% of consumers rank direct mail as more trustworthy than email, and only 6% rank blogs and social media as trustworthy, also from Epsilon. Fact, 60% of consumers say they enjoy checking their mailbox and receiving mail, also from Epsilon. This research indicates there is positive emotional payoff to consumers in finding letters and other direct mail that matches their interests in their mailbox, and further that the opening of fresh mail and discovery of interesting information and offers is an activity they look forward to. Against this, consider that 65% say they receive too many emails every day to open them all, and a fast-growing percentage of people express frustration and resentment at email marketing, even from sources they have a good relationship with, according to the E-Commerce Alliance research study. Surprising fact, the preference for direct mail even extends to the 18 to 34-year-old age group. And here's an advanced secret. Tangible materials such as direct mail trigger a much deeper level of emotional processing and generated more activity in the area of the brain associated with integration of visual and spatial information than any other media. This deeper emotional processing better embeds the images and ideas in the memories of test subjects. That's from using neuroscience to understand the role of direct mail, from a study by Bangor University and Millard Brown. Fact, 98% of consumers retrieve their mail from the mailbox the day it is delivered, and 77% sort through it that same day. That's USPS data reported in DM News. Fact, in 2011, the total volume of first-class mail was depressed by 7%, but direct mail for commercial purposes was up 3%. That's from Target Marketing. Fact, more than 12 billion catalogs are mailed annually. That's from the Direct Marketing Association Statistical Fact Book. And a question for you. Would companies keep mailing billions of printed catalogs if their testing indicated they could replace them with online media? Incidentally, the fashion company J.Crew mails 40 million catalogs a year and counts that as the #1 means of driving leads, new customers, and repeat customers to their websites, and they have no intent of cutting back. Fact, investment in direct mail for advertising purposes rose by 5.8% from 2010 to 2011, encompassing $48 billion. according to delivermagazine.com. Yes, during a recession, spending on direct mail rose. Keep in mind, huge numbers of dumb companies cut back and switched to online media, so to create this increase, the remaining users of direct mail had to dramatically increase its use. Fact, quote, nothing outperforms direct mail for new donor acquisition, unquote. Nonprofits wish that social media, websites, email, etc. could do this job as well, but so far, extensive experimentation by the entire nonprofit world has failed to come up with any way to survive and grow without relying on direct mail, according to nonprofit economic research. Fact, the world's largest e-commerce event, the Internet Retailer Conference and Exhibition, is sold to its attendees with a 32-page direct mail piece. Google uses direct mail to sell its pay-per-click and Google Places advertising media. Now, if one is not willfully blind to reality, they can see that even peddlers of e-commerce and online advertising and marketing must rely on direct mail for their income. If this fact does not compel an entrepreneur to prioritize mastery and successful use of direct mail as his own business builder, I can't imagine what other evidence would be convincing. I know, mail still seems stodgy in this internet age, but I've worked and worked with every media. I spent weeks on end again and again in Hollywood and elsewhere shooting TV infomercials with stars of stage and screen. I'm intimately involved with companies and entrepreneurs just about living online as far as outsiders see from the observation deck. But if you were inside their fortune-making machines, you'd see that their wealth is tied to postage stamps. And I am here to assert that nothing else can deliver the riches that direct mail can and does when it is fully understood and properly deployed. And I will insist, if you do not know how to effectively use direct mail as an integral and important part of your lead generation machine, you are at profound competitive disadvantage, and you are also, frankly, foolishly negligent and irresponsible. The facts mandate you getting this right. Still, direct mail by itself is rarely the fortune-making by marketing approach to choose, even if you would. Here's a visible secret most aren't really tuned into. The more media a person or company can use effectively, the richer they get, the less fragile their success is. You might want to stop and think about that long and hard. I've just uttered $1 million statement. Now I'd like to ask you to do something unusual at the end of this video. Not this minute, at the end. I'd like you to get some additional free information about Mailbox Millions. Simply click on the Send It to Me Now button below, and I'll have a 26-page special report, Facts About Mailbox Millions, emailed to you instantly, free of charge or obligation. Read it. It doesn't sell you anything. It's a detailed, provocative report. I think you'll be amazed and intrigued. Then be sure to complete the rest of the online videos in this series. But there's just not enough time here to tell you the entire Mailbox Millions story in full detail, so I'd like you to get and read this free report. I got a letter recently from a friend, colleague, and GKIC member, a terrific freelance copywriter and smart direct marketer called Doberman Dan. Let me just read you a piece of it. I keep hounding online-only marketers to do direct mail, but I often get nowhere with these dummies. Maybe you can get through to them. Case in point, I did a recent joint venture with an online-only marketer and made him agree to me direct mailing the same offer he emailed to a test of 1,000 buyers randomly pulled from his list. He emailed to 25,000. I mailed 1,000 of the buyers. We got 5 times more orders from the 1,000 than from the 25,000. Now, this is not a freak occurrence. It has become quite common for the teeny tiny number of intelligent online marketers who direct mail their customers using my devious little system, the same one I learned from you and Gary Halbert and have been using for 17 years. To be fair, this kind of result is not universally certain, but I often make similar successes happen. It demonstrates why no one should ignore direct mail, and even more importantly, why the best strategy is one of media integration, not isolation. Now back to our list. Number 1 was focus and specificity. Number 2, diversity equals speed and stability. Number 3, governed by facts, not fads. Number 4, evergreen is a worthy goal. And number 5, price, profit, and process equal power. So number 4, evergreen is a worthy goal. You are probably familiar with the frequent and unpredictable disruption of people's online marketing by algorithm and rule changes at Google, Facebook, and elsewhere. You are probably also familiar with what I call one-and-done money-making activities in short-lived products. I'm happy to say that my own #1 flagship info product is in its 20th year of marketplace success, making more money this 20th year than its first and having made money all those years. It is an evergreen product. So is the copy that sells it via sales letter, online media, even speeches, teleseminars, and webinars. Evergreen. With media, the place where more evergreen offers and campaigns live than all others is direct mail. There are countless direct mail campaigns, letters, booklets, even postcards, mailing by the tens of thousands or even millions without interruption or change for 3, 5, 7, 10, even 15 years. One of our members, a business insurance agent, recently sent me samples of his lead generation postcards he mails every month, month after month, going on 5 years, always getting a 3-to-1 or 300% to 12-to-1 or 1,200% return on investment. Owning such a lead generation asset is a very, very good thing. Frankly, a lot of people are woefully short-sighted, and even though they may make big incomes, they work a lot harder at it than is necessary if you create evergreen marketing assets. I have, for example, a client, safetytechnology.com. You can check the business out there. He has a lead generation machine driving part of the business and a sales letter that online and by mail sells his websites, hosting, and coaching that have not needed changes and have chugged along making money for 5 and 7 years, respectively. I had another client who mailed the same booklet into the same list every month for 3 years and generated over $1 million a year doing it and only altered the color of its cover month to month. Owning such evergreen marketing pieces is very liberating, stress relieving, and lucrative. When you build a lead generation machine for your business, you want to stock it with as many evergreens as you can. I'll show you how. Number 5, price plus profit plus process equals power. If you want virtually unlimited money-making power, and who doesn't, then you need to be able to invest whatever it takes in lead generation. That was the nameplate on my office door for years, not Dan Kennedy or President. Mine read, "Whatever it takes." If you've read the classic success text, Think and Grow Rich, and think back to it, you'll find that the business and wealth giants, most raised up from scratch and even dirt poor, exhibited whatever it takes attitudes and behaviors. That's a broad point, a macro perspective. A narrower micro perspective is being willing and financially able to do whatever it takes to fuel the growth of your business. That's a micro perspective. What you do, not how you think. In order to have the superpower that comes from being able to pay whatever it takes to acquire all the leads you need and want, you need 3 equation factors supporting you: good enough prices and transaction sizes, high enough profit margins, and a sophisticated enough thorough process for fully monetizing leads. The right approach to building your lead generation machine incorporates this knowledge and these 3 factors. With me, you will use this approach. So let's think about how you can use these 5 ideas to develop or strengthen a lead generation machine that serves you well. You first focus on specifics, a target audience, market, or clientele searching for or interested in or who can enjoy exceptional benefit from what you offer. You determine exactly what leads you want. Did you know that you can figure out how to attract exactly who you want? Why settle for less? Maybe you've seen Pawn Stars, the TV reality show. They're in Las Vegas and they like to attract high rollers, out-of-town visitors with a lot of money to spend on pawn jewelry and sports collectibles. They happen to own a famous Super Bowl ring, which they have no intention of selling. Every year at Super Bowl time, when rich sports fans flood the city, they put out press releases and generate a lot of publicity, locally, nationally, and online about the ring, which attracts those rich sports fans like honey attracts bees. If guys running a pawn shop can figure out how focused, targeted lead generation can work for them, so can you. So one of the opportunities I'm going to offer you later is a path to more focused and targeted lead generation. Next, diversity. We erect and open a lot more doors for leads to come in through to get speed and grow your sales and business and lists a lot faster and to bring steadiness and stability to your income. Let's get you off the income roller coaster and onto the income railroad. I need to again digress. I want to mention lists. I live by the ABLB rule. ABLB stands for Always Be List Building. Lead generation is about list building. Lists contain money, like cactuses, and even the most arid and desolate deserts contain life-giving water. Anyone who settles for only the most immediate sales and only immediate buyers is leaving most of his wealth-building opportunity untouched. And let me make this very important point. Don't lust after or settle for traffic. It's fool's gold. It's bullshit statistics. If you want traffic, sit in a lawn chair on a freeway curb and watch all the cars whiz by. If you can't or don't convert traffic to leads who voluntarily place themselves onto your lists, enter into direct relationship, and invite you to sell them things, you might as well go sit next to the highway. There are sadly a lot of internet wonder kids who do not get this or choose to ignore it when selling you their latest traffic gusher or traffic monster or super duper traffic flood maker or pushing you to playing with a lot of social media. I'm going to say it again. If you can't or don't convert traffic to leads who voluntarily place themselves onto your list, enter into direct relationship, and invite you to sell them things, you might as well go sit next to the highway. If you are going to lust after something, let's pick something lust-worthy. Leads, not traffic. Which moves us to the third point. You are going to build your highly effective, efficient, lucrative lead generation machine based on facts, not fads. Frankly, if you are not willing to build on facts, I can't help you. And these videos will frustrate you, not educate or motivate you, and I invite you to switch over to Farmville or some other place of fantasy and make-believe. Fourth, we are going to take pains, and yes, I mean that literally if necessary, take pains to engineer evergreen into your lead generation machine. Not just temporary tools, not just short-lived strategies, not just perishable campaigns, evergreen. We will build your lead generation machine to last, to really be worth something. Finally, we'll get the money math right so that you have price, power, and profit. And we'll also get process right so you fully monetize every lead. This is the architecture of top results, top income, and top wealth from marketing applied to virtually any business. I hope you can tell you are getting a different perspective on marketing and income and wealth here than you get just about any place else. In the next video in this series, you will meet some people who are operating varied businesses in sync with the 5 factors discussed here and hear from them about their discoveries and results. I'll be back after that with a video about the heart and soul and core truths and exact processes for extracting maximum income and wealth from products of any kind. And then I will offer you a shortcut to your own ultimate lead generation machine. You'll get email reminders about both of these upcoming videos. Also, in just a minute, I invite you to get my Mailbox Millions report emailed to you free of charge by clicking on the Send It To Me Now button below. Whether you choose to do that or not, don't miss the next videos. Let me wrap up here with a quick story. About 15 years ago, a man came to me with a problem, a puzzle, a conundrum. He had a proven product that sold very well to a particular kind of person with a known and specific interest. These buyers also had after-the-fact value as repeat customers, and his lists of both buyers and unconverted leads had exchange value with other non-competing marketers as a means of growing his own lead base and list size. In short, he had factors number 1, 3, 4, and 5 working pretty well. Yet he was only making a good living, but not getting rich. He was failing at number 2. He had only one means of lead generation. How many people watching this are failing themselves by failing at diversity just as he was? A lot. I set about helping him build diversity into a fully functioning lead generation machine. In 24 months, we took his business from about $1 million a year to about $20 million a year with a 20% bottom line. Over the next 8 years, that lead generation machine operated almost entirely with evergreen parts, produced steady year-to-year growth and consistent profits, and ultimately enabled him to retire with nearly $20 million in the bank, all done in the space of 10 years. Now, that's not a get-rich-quicker-than-diarrhea story. It's not a magical story of millions made in a weekend with a traffic volcano. It's not a single media story like easy money from Facebook in 4 hours a week. It's not, maybe, a very sexy story, but it's a real story. It is a doable story. It is a replicatable, achievable story. His was a national direct marketing company, but you could find similar stories in many real and otherwise ordinary businesses. Becky Auer could tell you how she developed a customer list of 66,000 people in Pittsburgh, fueling the biggest and most successful restaurant in its category there, generating millions, and leading to the restaurant's sale at a desired price with a great lead generation machine. You could ask Dr. Chris Tomczak how he went from 4 to 360 chiropractic clinics at blinding speed and keeps them all awash in patients with great lead generation machines. You could ask Matt Zagula about his 7-figure income financial advisory practice in a tiny town in West Virginia. Ben Glass about his enormously successful law practice. Craig Proctor about staying on the top 10 list of RE/MAX real estate agents worldwide for 10 years in Toronto. All thanks to the exact kind of lead generation machine that I'm presenting here, and in my last video, will offer you an incredible shortcut to. If you prefer the e-commerce world, you could talk to Michael Gravett at safetytechnology.com or Penny Halgren at howtoquilt.com. There's hyphens between the words, by the way, or Sean Greeley at npe.com, and you would discover their very healthy 6-figure to multi-7-figure incomes are thanks to the exact kind of lead generation machine that I'd like you to own. I am not a mystic, but if you are ready for a real business, sales, income, and wealth-building breakthrough, and sincerely interested in owning a real money-making machine, then don't miss the remaining videos in this series, and get and read my free report now by simply clicking the Send It To Me Now button below. Thanks for tuning in.